At the 2023 Positive Approach to Care Conference with Teepa, I had the opportunity to interview Carolyn with Scrunch Cloth. Have you wondered how a simple change in your daily routine items can significantly enhance the quality of life for many? Today we explore an innovation that makes the seemingly mundane task of daily living safer, easier, and more inclusive. We're diving into a product that is redefining personal care for individuals across the spectrum of need. My guest today is Carolyn Barnes, a seasoned certified occupational therapist assistant with a passion for empowering individuals through effective, personalized care. Carolyn's expertise in adaptive equipment, along with her father, inventor Paul Barnes, has led to the creation of a product that stands out in its simplicity and functionality, the Scrunch Cloth. Unlike an ordinary washcloth, Scrunch Cloth's design is a testament to the power of innovation in enhancing daily life for those with physical, mental, and visual disabilities, as well as their caregivers. Today we explore the journey behind Scrunch Cloth from its inception to becoming an indispensable tool in rehabilitation and maintenance therapies. We dive into its unique no-grip, no-drop design, how it assists individuals dealing with conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and more, and the impact it has on fostering independence and dignity. Join us as we talk about the story of Scrunch Cloth, a simple yet profoundly transformative solution for daily living. This episode is powered by Seni, which provides support and products for those caring for their loved ones. Here is my interview with Carolyn Barnes. Hello, everyone. We are podcasting live from the Positive Approach to Care Conference, Teepa. I have a wonderful guest here with me, Carolyn, with Scrunch Cloth. I'm going to let her introduce her full name and all about Scrunch Cloth and what they're up to and a little backstory. So welcome, Carolyn.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. So I'm Carolyn Barnes. I'm an occupational therapist assistant working in Detroit metro area of Michigan. And I work with Scrunch Cloth as my father is the founder and inventor of Scrunch Cloth.
He was telling me a little bit of the story, and I would love to hear you share. How did he decide to create something like this? So, what is Scrunch Cloth? And then how does it go from, okay, I have this idea, to now it's an actual physical product?
So, Scrunch Cloth is an adaptive washcloth, and it can be used in a couple different avenues. One, to facilitate independence for patients, clients, loved ones who struggle with fine motor coordination, task sequencing, and safety. It also can be used from a caregiver's point of view to promote better body mechanics for caregivers and also allow us to be more safe and attention to the task instead of being diverted frequently. And as a third avenue, as a therapist myself, I always look at it, how can I use this as a therapeutic modality?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, I think both Carolyn and I are going to be stretched outside our comfort zones in terms of explaining verbally a tool and a product that we are looking at that's physical and that you can see, right?
Yes.
So first, we'll send people to also the website, which is
scrunchcloth.com.
Absolutely. So you can take a look and actually see what it is that we're talking about, and we'll do our best. Carolyn will do her best to will actually explain. It is a washcloth that is in a almost cylinder form.
So I like to describe it as a sock with its toes cut off.
There you go.
Add a little bit of elastic in there, and somehow it stays on your hand.
We can see that visual. We can see that. Yes. And honestly, when I was looking at it, so you don't know this, but when I first met your dad and he showed me the product, I said, I've seen that before. And he said, what? Where? I said, are you on Instagram? And he was like, yes, but no. And I said, I've seen this before. And then it dawned on me, a friend of mine and a former guest, Lindsay DeLong with Equip Me OT, had...
Yeah, she shared us. Yes. That is so cool.
video and was like, that's so cool. I watched her do the demo, and she is an occupational therapist.
Yes, yeah. I've heard a couple times people say, oh, I've seen that before. And, as an OT, it makes me think of another adaptive washcloth, which is called the bath mitt.
Okay.
And I just like to say this is a more advanced version of that actually facilitates independence.
Yeah. Yes. And when we think of that, right? Okay, so you can picture your normal washcloth. I, as an able-bodied person, have a hard time keeping the washcloth on my hand when I'm washing my body and my face. It falls off, then I pick it up off the floor of my bathtub, and I'm like, ew. And this really, for anyone, is a wonderful option and tool to be able to do a lot of different things. And so share with us all the different ways that it even can be.
So, it was designed to be able to be donned or put on with one hand. So my dad did a lot of the engineering behind the actual need for the tension of the elastic at each end. So it's quite cool, and he can go into detail about that for hours. But it's able to be donned with one hand. So my patients who've suffered a stroke, a spinal cord injury, a brain injury, who no longer have use of one side or have weakness of one side, they're able to get this on and off themselves. Promotes them to be able to wash as much as they can. And it also promotes safety because then they can use their grab bars when they're stepping in and out of the shower. Allows us to use our shampoos without dropping on the floor and saying, ew, I have to pick that up.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you can switch hands. You were just doing that. So you can easily go from your left hand to your right hand, from your right hand to your left hand.
Yes. Yeah, so people who have function or most function of each side, whether they have rheumatoid arthritis, where it's just painful to hold things. A lot of people will substitute normal washcloths right now with using larger loofahs to get kind of a larger grasping area. This removes that need altogether. You could wash in a total fist, let's say somebody who has cerebral palsy and they might have a contracture, that flexed hand and wrist. They can still put this on and wash themselves to the best of their ability without ever having to worry about having a grip, grasp, or a functional pinch involved.
Wow.
I don't think it was that recent.
One other note of mention is I saw Lindsay when she put it down on her wrist. When you're also washing your face or something like that, it keeps the water from going into your clothes. Mm-hmm. That is my biggest pet peeve. I will change my shirts because I have water down into my elbows. Just another note of another option.
Yeah, and I love the material too because it feels like real washcloth. It feels like your standard normal washcloth. So especially when we're talking about our patients or our loved ones who have cognitive deficits, it's not really that new of a thing, right? It's a very simple but effective washcloth because it feels like the standard thing, which promotes kind of that automatic response where, oh, I'm going to just start washing myself with this.
Right.
It doesn't take much direction.
Yeah, the texture is recognizable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was so excited talking about Lindsay that I derailed our conversation when I was asking how does it go from idea to product?
Okay.
I still love to hear that.
So Paul is retired. My father's in his 70s. I'm in my 30s.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm the youngest. No, second youngest.
Okay. Out of how many kids? Two?
There's three of us.
Okay.
My sister is a twin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so am I the second youngest?
Like, how does that work? Yeah.
I'm older than her by 6 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, how did it go from an idea to an actual thing? My father's retired. He does a lot of mentorships. He does one called SCORE, and it's for entrepreneurs over at Duke University. So God forbid my dad retires and actually vacations, he goes right back to work. So he was doing this internship program with college students, and they were talking about different ideas of things that they needed, and this was actually designed for a completely separate purpose.
Wow.
Yes. And about 3 years ago, on Thanksgiving weekend, I flew down to visit him, and he showed me his first prototype, and I said, Dad, you can't use it for that purpose. This is a wonderful adaptive washcloth. And I, right off the bat, thought of my patients with stroke, rheumatoid arthritis, cognitive deficits, vision deficits. I was so excited.
Wow.
So excited.
It was like probably that light bulb moment.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I was like, because you think about other adaptive tools, and there are a lot of adaptive tools that are just very basic, simple technology. And you're like, man, that you're always kind of one step away. But how do you create something so simple that is grossly available for all sorts of type of people, right?
Absolutely.
Most of us deal with comorbidities. We don't necessarily just have one thing. So how do we get something that's very versatile and can be used in many places, and yet it's so simple? So that's my dad heard that same thing from myself, my sister, and several other people as he was continuing on making more prototypes. And eventually he was like, fine, we'll move over to medical. So we moved over to the medical side, and it's only grown from there.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And your dad was telling me a little bit about his background, and he is it engineer, or remind me of his...
He's all sorts of things, but yes, he is an engineer. His biggest background is engineering.
Sense of the invention and the technical aspect of all of it.
I cannot tell you how many forearms and wrists I measured 3 and 4 years ago, until we learned you could just get all that information from the Army database online.
No way.
Yeah, I measured thousands of wrists and forearms.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun for me as an OT,
and
but
it makes for a really good, like, hey, we did our research.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I put in the sweat and the labor.
We did all the things. Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So how do you get the word out, and where are you sharing about this information?
About Scrunch Cloth?
Yeah.
So a lot of getting the word out has been done going to occupational therapy events, conferences. So I went to the one in Ohio, close drive. My sister went to the one in New York. She lives in Massachusetts, so closer drive.
Right.
Cousin went to one in Baltimore. My dad went to the one here in North Carolina. I believe we're all going to go to Florida next. So mostly it's been my dad headhunting and groundwork.
Yeah.
I've gone over to assisted living facilities, independent living facilities. I talked to my patients because I used a lot of prototypes on my patients as we were working through the prototypes. So it's been a lot of footwork and groundwork, door knocking.
Yeah.
Recently, we've been working on the social media aspect. I'm lucky where I grew up with many people with many skills. So we've hired many of my friends to promote the business, whether it's the guys building the websites or a girlfriend of mine doing marketing and things like that. So we're doing Facebook, we're doing Instagram, and pretty soon here, it looks like I'll be doing TikTok.
Okay. Oh my word.
I know.
Oh, I will commiserate with you in that, because it is the one platform where I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love being on TikTok. I follow Teepa Snow on TikTok. I follow Emily the OT on TikTok.
Yes.
But I don't know if I can do it, but I am going to try.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. We'll look for you.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to share about this. There's a large healthcare community that listens in family caregivers, and I think it is a wonderful product having not only see Lindsay on video and implementing it, but also being able to talk to you guys and feel it and touch it. And it's soft on the inside.
Yes.
And there's a little bit more texture on the outside. And I was telling your dad that it's actually the perfect amount of texture because it's soft, but yet I was telling him, like, from my perspective, you do like a little bit of that exfoliating factor. And then I was giving him, cosmetic background. I was like, for my face, you want to exfoliate, but even for your skin and just keeping that, I know we deal a lot with, especially coming into the winter, and dryness and cleanliness, and wanting to make sure that we're able to cover all of our bases. So it's been really fun to actually see it in person. So,
yeah, I do like the texture. It does make you feel like you actually get clean and not you're just wiping with microfiber. And that's been part of the feedback that we've gotten.
So how do you care? Is it wash dryer? Is it wash only, air dry, all the things?
You throw it in the laundry with the rest of your clothes, and then you put it in the dryer when you're done.
Perfect.
Yes, easy to take care of.
And then you're also maybe looking at doing some other colors in the future?
Yes. So initially we thought, oh, hey, we should do white because white can be bleached, especially when we're talking about facilities, right? Hospital settings, assisted living facilities, but what we've been told over the time is that they have the ability to sanitize this to the same level as bleach without bleaching products, and so make it more personalized, more client-centered, person-centered, and that's important to us at Scrunch Cloth.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm so glad we met at Teepa Snow's conference. Are you enjoying it? Have you attending the sessions?
Yes, I'm attending the sessions. I'm gathering those CEUs. We learn about her in OTA school. 2018 is when I graduated.
Yeah,
so
because Teepa is an OT.
Yeah.
So
and so we
like
learned about her in
the
school. So
library,
I kind of fangirled when my dad was like, I met this woman named Teepa Snow. I about jumped out of my shoes. I was like, you met Teepa Snow? Yeah, so I got to meet her today and fangirled. And
love it.
Just a wealth of information in there. I'm learning so much and being reminded about all the things I've already learned. It's like, oh yeah, there's that.
It's like that reinvigoration and encouragement, and then I think just meeting everyone else in the space too has been really fun. So
God's been wonderful.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you for your time and
thank you for joining
broadcasting
me.
this.
Absolutely, pleasure to meet you. Thank you, and I hope you guys. I know it's just going to be great, and we'll include the website and all the links on our show notes.
Instagram and Facebook. No TikTok yet.
No, someday. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed our episode, please subscribe and give us 5 stars. In all honesty, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to our episode.